You ready? Let's go. Welcome to the Process Fixer, help you see the bigger picture. Derek Maines is the elixir, cut and waste away like scissor. Woo!
Hey everybody, Derek Maines here, the Process Fixer. I have had so many inquiries about our new acquisition, Process Triage, and I wanted to spend a few minutes today showing you a round of what Process Triage is, how it works, why it matters to your business. And listen, if you're interested, reach out. We can come and do this for your organization. Or listen, if you're a process professional or facilitator, somebody who's been around ops your whole life, maybe you want to get trained as a facilitator as well. We can help. Let me show you what this is. So Process Triage is a 30-year-old methodology that was created. Gosh darn it, I don't have my extra thing in here. Let me share my screen. There we go. Hold on a second. Let me find what I'm going to look at. But Process Triage was a methodology created over 30 years ago. The concept behind it was that most organizations understand the inputs of their business. They understand the outputs of the business. They can look at a balance sheet. They can get an understanding of what things cost. They have some idea of how much they're profitable. Hopefully they also, in addition to their inputs and outputs, they understand the outcomes. They understand the value that they bring to customers. They understand why customers buy from them. But the piece that almost all executives don't have a purview into is how the sausage is made. How do things actually work inside your business? We can sit in a boardroom and theorize about how that works. But the reality is the people who know how it works are the people that work for you. So why not ask them to help you understand the process inside your business, what's broken inside your business, where there's bottlenecks inside your business, empower them to provide you that frontline intelligence that you need to make the logical, rational, reasonable decisions on how to improve your organization. This is what we do with Process Triage. Let me show you. This is a Process Triage map. These print out, they're about 20 feet, 15 to 20 feet long when they're done. This whole method is done in a one-day workshop. And that workshop brings together the frontline employees, the people that actually do the work, not managers, not executives. They're permitted to participate if they like, but we don't want them to say anything. Why? Because what we really want to understand is how things get done. So how do we do that? Well, we use this method called actions results mapping. This was created by Rosie Rosenberg back in the 1990s, founder of Process Triage. And the methodology says that the lines are work, the circles are completed segments of work. So essentially what you have at the end of the day, if you look at this whole thing, is this is a to-do list on how to get things done inside your business. All the interconnected activities that need to occur to get you from your origin point, your trigger, your green one here, over to your destination point, which in this process, this is commercial construction. The trigger is we got an RFQ. The end of this, the milestone at the end is everybody's been paid. We've got our money. The building is complete. So this is relatively high level in this, although it looks quite complicated. This is pretty relatively simple because we're trying to go at a 30,000 foot view and understand what's happening inside the business overall. Now, this methodology can be drilled down into certain departments and segments, and you can do a lot of different things with it. But for the purpose of this demonstration, here's the process from a request for proposal on through a lead. So what we do is we work with the employees in a one-day workshop to have them create this. We use a 25-foot blank wall space, and we build this whole thing out with them. They're in control of the steps. Each one of the circles here is an action result. So, or I'm sorry, it's a noun and a past tense verb. So these are segments of completed work that are being done. And here's what the final deliverable is from that work. The employees map this out with our facilitators, working with them to put step by step down the path to get to the destination. We talk about where do things branch off? What happens if this occurs? We go through all of those methodologies that anybody that understands process mapping would do. We then, this takes about 3 or 4 hours. Then on the break, usually that's over lunch, we go up to the board and we start to design this a little bit differently. We start to figure out what are the swim lanes. Well, this is the pursuit. This is sales. This is the project setup team over here. Here's my execution. Here's my change order. You start to break these down into swim lanes. And then we also go through and we number. We use a numerical system to number all of the segments of work, specifically so that we have a GPS coordinate. If you think about it, like the GPS, we know exactly where things are happening inside the business. We also can do lots of different treatments to these maps when they're done, including assigning roles and responsibilities to each one of these. Who is the accountable party for 1015? Who's the accountable party for 1020, 1030, so on and so forth. Gives you this ability to truly understand the interconnectedness of the entire organization, but also to understand the dependencies. I can't do a 1035 unless 1025, 1020, 1015 all add up. So it gives you this root cause analysis tool. So we do that. We come back from lunch. We hand all of the employees pink sticky notes, and we ask them to write down any place in the process where they feel pain. Now, pain is not a person. It's not a system. Pain is something that's broken, something that regularly occurs that I can quantify that causes a slowdown in the work. That's important because we as leaders want to know where there are bottlenecks in our business. We're giving our employees the power to figure that out for us. And they do. They write these things down. 25% of the time this happens, 50% of the time this happens. They're doing that methodology with us. They're writing those pieces of pain down individually, but then we have them all as a group head up to the board and put these all on simultaneously. There's a reason that we do that. There's an empathy element that occurs when you walk up and you express your pain and you're standing right beside the people that are causing that pain or that you cause the pain to. So you understand what's going on here. There's a lot of empathy that goes on. Here's a great example. Here's our sales and pursuit process over here on the left. Here's our pass off to operations right here. Oh, looky here. All of these places, people express that they experience pain. Something is happening that is broken. Something is not working with our process inside the organization. Now, we can look through these, and a lot of these might be combined into one, because if you're experiencing pain, probably other people doing your role are experiencing pain as well. But in the end, we'll look at the top thing. By the way, these little yield signs here are the ranking that we do at the end of the day that says which one is the most important. So let's look at the most important thing in this entire company. This is a $20 billion company. The number one thing that employees say someday will probably put us out of business is what? Salespeople do not show up for the handoff meeting 80% of the time. Now, that's not a big problem to resolve in the sense of the resources it takes to fix that thing. Anybody who's been an executive looks at a problem like that. We're so used to dealing with problems with cash flow and with brand and with budgets and with compliance and regulation. All of the problems in our purview are big. They're hard to accomplish. They require resources. What the challenge is when we read in the results at the end of the day with executives around the process triage methodology, many times they're really shocked at how simple the solutions are. Here's a great example. What would you do as a leader to solve this problem? You just make it mandatory attendance at that pass-off meeting for your salespeople. You'd move your KPI trigger from signed contract to checklist completed with the operations team, the handoff team. Why would you do that? Well, it's going to make, yes, your salespeople are going to have to sit through the meeting, of course. But all of the people on operations are going to have clarity about what needs to get done. They're going to understand what the customer needs and desires are. They're going to understand the outcome that's needed by the customer. This is customer success. Customer success starts with everybody being on the same page. So modifying the way that you, the allowance, the enforcement of the attendance of that meeting is going to solve the number one problem in your entire company. Now, I'm going to slide over here. At the end of the day, after we've heard all this pain, we hash it out with the employees. We want to hear from them. Look, 50% of the time this happens. I disagree. It's 60% of the time. Okay, let's settle up. Is it 55? Yeah, 55%. We're working through this with them to get to the resolution so that we can agree on a percentage of time that occurs. Then the next step, got the pain. Now we talk through all that pain. We want to understand it. We want to consolidate it. We want to merge it together if we can. Now we go through the process that we call triage. Triage is a root cause analysis tool in which we ask 5 questions and it will determine the immediate solution to that problem, usually something that can be solved in the next 90 days. Triage works something like this, and I'll do more videos on this. Do we know the most likely cause? If the answer is yes, then we ask, do we have an existing best practice? The way that this goes is analyze, design, train, and enforce. We ask a series of simple questions. Has everybody been trained on this? Does this need enforcement? Do we know the most likely cause? Does this inhibit our capability as an organization? We ask a few questions. It takes about 60 seconds or so. And magically, 100% of the time, over 500,000 times this has worked, we find that it's one of four things: analyze, design, train, or enforce. We then ask the employees, we write a little statement from them. What do we need to do? Our salespeople aren't showing up. What's the solution? Train and enforce the project planning process. That's our number one thing. Is it small? Is it big? Is this something that can be accomplished quickly, or will it take some time? Ask a few questions. And in a couple of hours, we have ranked all of the challenges inside this process as reported by employees. And for the most part, they're the simplest fixes and solutions imaginable. They are simple things like make sure the machine works when we need it. Make sure the materials arrive on time. Can you help us get upgraded internet in our facility because we spend half of our day waiting on the little things spinning on our search engine. So there's simple solutions that you can take action as executive immediately. And not only do you improve the through flow of your organization and you break the bottlenecks of your organization, these are things that your employees are saying. So all of a sudden, you're the hero to the people that work for you. Do you want to work for a company that hears you out and hears where you're in pain and where you're suffering at work and helps resolve those problems? Or do you want to work for the standard organization that just doesn't care? What's magical is this: when you start to resolve problems for your employees, all of a sudden, your customer experience improves. Why? Because the people that they're talking to aren't frustrated and overworked and stressed and struggling. They're in a state of flow, and that transfers back over to the customer as well. So what do you get at the end of the day from a process triage methodology, a workshop? You get this gorgeous 15, 20-foot map that shows all the interconnectivity of what's happening inside your business. You get a list of items that your employees say are the most important things that need to be resolved as quickly as is humanly possible. You get a written solution statement or a proposed solution to this. You know how long it will take. You know if it's a big thing or a small thing. You know if it's going to affect your capability as an organization. And then listen, whoever your facilitator is probably a process professional. They probably are good at designing and implementing strategies for systems for streamline. They're probably pretty good at doing analysis of coordination issues and budget manpower issues to resolve. So what you've got is a roadmap on how to fix your shit inside your company. That's what process triage is. This is why we bought this methodology. If you know us, we're the process fixer. We're walking into companies and helping them with process on it every single day. But the reality is this: putting this together takes a lot of time and a lot of money. When you can do it all in one day with a workshop with your employees, things are just magical. It really is a magical experience. We've had CEOs that now call this $1 million day. They're like, look, if you want to just find $1 million on your bottom line, go do one of these workshops. You'll find it very, very quickly. The other thing that's really cool is this. This is a really high level map, right? We can do this departmentally. We can drill down as far as you need to drill down. But why not start high, map one of your core processes, find where the problems are, start to break those bottlenecks, then select the next one and the next one and the next one. This is a repeatable process that works over and over and over. If you use a methodology, an operating system, something like EOS or Gazelle or Metronomics or any of those out there, here's the fascinating thing. This doesn't compete with it at all. This is actually the solution that all of them are missing. Every single one of them are missing. And I will tell you that the phone calls that I've been getting since we bought this company are from those companies saying, how can we look at this a little bit differently? Why? Well, listen, let's say you use EOS, probably the most popular one out there. You're good at training and enforcing. You've figured out how to get people to become accountable to the numbers and the methodology and the things that you want to do as an organization. Let me tell you what you're not good at, because it's not part of EOS. How do you analyze root cause? How do you do root cause analysis? What's your issue processing methodology that you're using as a corporation? How are you approaching problems? Do you have a lean methodology? Are you using a Six Sigma approach? What are you using to analyze problems? And then the next piece, who on your team is in charge of designing policy, designing procedure, working on designing tools, working on designing methodologies that can be trained on and can be enforced inside the company? That's what we can do. It's a perfect plug-in to every operating system on the planet. And it's a beautiful way to identify your rocks, your quarterly objectives, your strategic objectives from your company. And listen, this isn't about you doing the work. This is about going out and asking the people you've paid to do this work for years to just show us how they get things done. If you're interested, check us out at the Process Fixer. You can also check out the Process Triage website. We're in the process of moving that over and refining that, but you can see all the historical data from 1,000 plus workshops that this has been done in over the last 30 years. This methodology is extremely sound. It is truly a beautiful way to extract from your people the information they have and to solve the problems that you didn't even know you had inside your business. Okay, Derek Maines, the Process Fixer. Check us out. Let me know if you have questions about the methodology. Love to hear from you.